first practice back from the breaks. How'd you feel it went out there?
Pretty good jump. I thought the energy level was right. Execution was just okay, as expected, but the mindset was right. Good jump. So the guys, and to have a full practice like today, we haven't had a full practice like this in a long time. So coming off the break, it's good.
How do you assess the first half of the season? I mean, right now I think you're tied for the last playoff spot in the division, but how do you kind of assess how the first half went?
Well, as we know, the start is not how we wanted to play it out, but we managed to get together to regroup and to win some games, which put us in a playoff position. And at this time of the year, that's where we wanted to be, in a playoff position or to fight for a playoff spot, which was a struggle early in the season to see that we would be in that position. But great. The character of the team is pretty good. You can tell with how they manage the games. They don't get too high, they don't get too low. So the forming of a team, it's what happens in the first few weeks, first few months, and felt that as the time went on, we became more in sync as far as the systems and as far as seeing each other on the ice and communicating on the ice and off the ice in practices as well. So lots of improvement. To answer your question, slow start, we didn't like it. We got better, won some games, then we had those two major long trips. First one went fine, the second one not as good as we wanted to, but the two games in Texas, we could have won those games. We played good enough to win those games, so the process was right. But it was time to get a break. It was the right time. The timing of the break was perfect. Now it's reset button and fight for a playoff spot.
Pascal had a really good November for you guys, and then again, kind of just before Christmas, kind of seemed like his numbers slumped quite a bit. So what do you kind of just see from him these past couple of weeks?
Well, he's played a lot, and it's not how we planned it, but sometimes the plan has to be adjusted. And so we liked his game. Like the games that he hasn't played, or the games that we didn't win, I can't put my finger on one game that we can say he was the reason why we didn't win the game. When we didn't win those games and he was not great, we didn't play great in front of him. There's a maturity level that will come over time, and it's normal. And I'm saying that in a positive way. He's going to learn to play a lot of games at the pro level and what it takes to be successful on a daily basis. So we're working with him, especially on off days when we don't play games, manage his energy level and stuff like that. But his game has been pretty good to me. He's got a lot of energy, and you can see it in games, but it's consistent. And to manage that kind of energy, that's what he needs to learn. But as far as his game, we needed to adjust to him basically because of the way he plays the puck early in the season. That was part of our problem. We didn't break the puck out because he was stopping any dump-ins or any hard rims, and we weren't in sync as far as our breakout. So we needed to adjust to him. Once we did, we got better as a team, but he competes hard, and he's a good teammate. He's coachable, so he's on the right path.
Obviously, you don't want him to burn out in this second half, and again, it's kind of out of the organization's hands. But I mean, how crucial would it be to get Comrie potentially back with this team?
Well, it would be pretty big for sure. But that's right now we don't know what's going to happen. So we're planning as if Eric wasn't here, because he's not. But if he was to come back, it not only the impact on the ice, the impact on Burden, but the impact on the team would be pretty significant.
And Sami Niku's back out there today. What would it mean? Is he going to play this weekend?
Yeah, he's a player now. He's back 100%.
So what does that do for this team, getting him back in the lineup?
Well, it's a lot of things, but most importantly, at our level, and the reason why we exist is it's to support those players and to push them in order to prepare them to play in the NHL. And Sami is obviously a great prospect for us. He's played some games with the Jets. So for him come back and practice, have a full team practice, it means a lot. And for the team, obviously, if he stays with us, and he's with us right now, the impact he has on the power play, and then 5-on-5, he can play against any lines. He was the best defenseman in this league not too long ago, so his ability to make plays under pressure, it's there's nobody like him on our team, so he's going to make a difference. As far as transitioning to offense, he's one of the best in the league.
Obviously a tough season for him. I think lots of people are expecting him to have a pretty decent role with the Jets, and he gets injured and whatever. So what do you kind of say to a guy like that when he's just having a season where it seems like nothing's really going right for him?
Well, you know what? It's not what happens to you that really matters. It's how you're going to respond to what happens to you. And so far, he's been doing it right. His attitude is good. He's a guy that we know what to expect as far as his game and stuff like that. So, and you know what? Sometimes some challenge in your life will just make you stronger, and we believe he's going to get stronger just because of what happened. But you know, the timing of everything, the injury, the car accident, like it seems like everything was going the wrong way. But the whole time he kept a good attitude, so good for him.
In the second half, you guys will have a lot more games at home. I mean, in the first half, you guys were kind of road warriors in a way. So just how kind of crucial will that be that you guys kind of survived this tough stretch, and now you guys kind of have maybe a schedule that kind of favors you a little more?
Yeah, it's important for sure. The schedule wasn't friendly the second half of the first half of the season, so we need to take advantage of being home and playing in front of our people, yes, but we feel comfortable in our building, being able to practice, sleeping in our own beds. All those little details, when you add them up, makes a difference.
And last one for you, CJ seems to be rolling right now. I think he's a couple goals in the last couple of games. So what have you seen from him?
Well, you know what, the guys like that, you just you cheer for them. You have to, because they work so hard consistently on and off the ice, in the gym. He's a great teammate. He's always going 100%. So he's got some skills, obviously, but his main skill is his work ethic. The way he works with and without the puck, and his positioning. He's a smart player. He's a strong player, and when those guys get some points, it's good for him and it's good for the team.
Just going back to injuries for a second, do you have any sort of update on Luke Green or Peter Stojkovic at this point?
They're not. We're talking about weeks. It's longer periods. I don't have a time frame, but it's not. We don't know how long.
And then on the topic of Rockford, these games on Sunday, a team that's sort of been gutted a lot by the NHL club. Do you prepare for that any differently, knowing that a lot of their players are now playing with Chicago?
No, we don't. What we're gonna do and what we've done the whole time, our main challenge is to take care of ourselves and making sure we play our game, and we'll make some adjustments. Mostly on the special teams, the power play and the penalty kills, some face-offs maybe. But other than that, we need to know what to expect for sure. So they like seeing passes. They like to go backdoor in the offensive zone. They have to deactivating. So more of an awareness, but we're going to stick to our plan.